Hi guys, welcome back. Now let's start a new class. Within this chapter, we've seen already some of the flow controls and the theories behind a lot of them. And now we've also been able to see how to set the material node as well as the intensity. We looked at that in our previous class, didn't we? When we set up the basic functionality of the blueprint. Now, what I would like to do now is to create the actual blueprint of the lamp and use all the concepts that we've learned so far. And then hopefully we'll be able to understand why we're doing certain things as we put it together. To do this, I've prepared or used this ready-made scene. I think that will be a nice way to implement the blueprint. And this is a scene that was put together here at DViz. And this scene is available on our website as well. It's called R2 House. Now, some of you may know it because we promoted it in a couple of our videos already. So I've just got part of it, just the parts of the scene that will be useful for us, not everything. And then we can recreate our blueprints for the ArcViz scene and become familiar with what they can do and how they work in practice. Just so we're not stuck in theory, okay? Now we'll see how things work in practice. So as I said, I've cleared some of the rest of the scene. Okay, so we don't need the vegetation. Some of the furniture has gone and we're just focusing really on the living room and the kitchen area. And so we can just use this scene to study. Okay. And of course, as you know, we're using Unreal Engine 5 for this, which is how we're able to light the scene because it's using the Lumen lighting system. And you can move about pieces of geometry without it affecting the build, which is really good. So we'll work with this scene and start creating our blueprints that are going to be most effective for ArcViz. So there are quite a few opportunities for us to create blueprints here in the scene. And we're going to be able to have an understanding of how we can incorporate them into an ArcViz experience now. So to get started, what we need to do is, first of all, let's push play. That'd be the best thing to do, just so you can see how it's all set up at the moment. So it doesn't have a first person character because I can just fly through anywhere really. I'm not attached to the floor. I can just press the W, A, S and D keys and it's going to take me around flying everywhere. It's a little bit messy. Okay. So what do we need to do from here? Well, I've also brought across the blueprints that we've created so far in our previous classes. And I brought them into the content browser so we can reuse them and implement them here. So I'll help you, help you out a little bit so you can remember, and then you'll be able to see them in practice. So it's quite handy actually, that ability to be able to migrate things so we can implement them in our project, like ready-made blueprints that we can use. So I've created a folder here for the blueprints. And here are the blueprints that we've created. There's first person character, controller, game mode, and the camera shake. So these are the ones that have already been migrated, and we're going to implement them into our scene so we don't have any further problems. So let's first implement the game mode, and to do that we need to go to world settings, and here's where we can plug it in. So remember that, just come to world settings, game mode, and select ArcViz game mode because that's the one we made. And this other one here, R2, is from the actual scene. We won't use that. We'll just use the ones we've made. So ArcViz game mode we need there. We need the controller as well, the ArcViz controller and our camera shake. So let's add them in here. ArcViz game mode. Okay. As you can already see now, it's given us the ability to edit the rest, which is helpful. But the character's already here. The controller, which is what we need, is there too. Now, if you open the game mode, and there we go, this one here. Although there's nothing here, it's already storing the information that we need. And that's why it's important to create it and use the customized one so that there aren't any conflicts of game modes, okay? So it's already implemented here, which is great. So let's push play just to see if there are any problems. Okay, so our camera shake is already working. That's good. And what's happening here? Okay, so it's not moving. I'm pushing the keys and we're not able to move forward, left, right, up and down. So why is that? Do you remember? Well, it's because of the input settings. Do you remember how to set up the input settings? Well, it is possible to save our input settings from a previous project and apply them to another one. And at this stage, I haven't imported them yet. So here's what I'll do. I'll stop the video and I'll open the old project and show you how to export them and import them into here. Let's do this now. Hi. So I've opened our old project. I don't need to open the level itself. All we need to do now is come to project settings. Then we need to, from the menu, we need to access the inputs. So we go down under engine and input. And here are all the inputs we set up in our previous classes, remember? And we need to be using them in our new class. So you just come over here, press export, find a place to save this file. And I think I'll put it over here, then save it. It's okay if you want to rename it, but it's not really necessary. So that's it. We've exported all of our inputs that we set up in this particular file. So great. That's what we'll do now. Let's open our previous scene. Here we are. So all we have to do now is import the inputs. So we've clicked on input. We need to import and then find where we saved them. And there's the file. Okay, so this is the one we need to import. Just open it and look here. You can see if we drop down the little submenus, it's brought over all the inputs that we set up before. Cool. So let's test our scene to see if the first person is working properly now. Let's press play. So camera shake is working, and now I'm able to move. Okay, great. Because now the inputs are associated with our character blueprint. So that's something to remember. Oh, and look, zoom is working as well. And it's nice to be able to be in an interior scene to see the zoom working. Nice. So all your hard work's paid off now, right? Yeah, looking good. Cool. So everything seems to be working fine at the moment. And the zoom is working based on a collision. So it's detecting the object and then auto focusing on that as well, just as we wanted it to do. And now obviously we've got that. It's a really nice feature. Hopefully you appreciate this now, being in an interior scene. So what we still need to do here is to include our crosshair, don't we? But we'll do that later on. Now, it would be easier, wouldn't it, if we are able to aim at objects. But for now, we'll just try to manage it. What about the crouching feature? There we go. So the crouching works. It's nice, isn't it? We can crouch down and focus. And the running. Yes, that's working. Not that you want to be running around too much around the kitchen. Cool. So that part's okay. We've implemented the game mode. The first person is working. And now we can actually start to create our blueprint. Okay. And it'd be easier for us to test it now our first person's sorted. So let's think about the lamp with the concepts we've learned in the last few classes. So to create it, go to a content browser, and I've separated the files, and we can go into here in the blueprints, and we can keep it all here. Okay, so let's create a new blueprint, and we need an actor blueprint because it's going to be an actor within our scene. And then we just need to name it BP_lamp. And there we go. Nice. So we've got our blueprint. Let's open it. Cool. So the first thing we need to do here is to set up the components that will be interacting with the blueprint. So from our components list, we can start to add a static mesh, which is going to be the Lampshade mesh itself. It's almost like the static mesh is the holder, isn't it, for the static mesh we choose. Now I've added that here. Let's name it to lamp or lampshade. Cool. So now we'll look for the lampshade that's already been imported into our project under geometry. There we go. And we'll just add it in here. Nice. So there we got our lampshade, and the materials are all set up as well down here in the different elements. So that's nice. We can come back to that later. So this is a mesh that's already been preset, and we also need to add to the lamp some light, don't we? So how best do we do this? Well, in this blueprint, we're going to change the lamp material to an emissive material. So this material here on the lamp, on the actual light bulb itself, we can change that to an emissive material. And from there, we can adjust whether the lamp or the light is turned on or off. So let's do this. Let's add a point light, first of all. And I'm just going to place it or put it in position. So we just position this just above the lamp, just like that. Just make sure it's centered as well, just above. There we go. As if the light was really coming out of this bulb. Okay, so it's centered above the bulb now, and everything should be okay so far. And there we go. We can see it's already on, can't we? So I think I'll turn it off just because we'll leave the character to be able to turn that on when they're in play mode. So we've got that set up like this so far. Let's compile and save. And then the basics of our mesh is pretty much ready. Now, when you're in the blueprint, obviously we've got these things here called components. And then in the event graph, we need to then set the rest up, don't we? So let's set up our blueprint. Let's program it as we need it to do. So for now, we'll just work like this. And we're going to use a keyboard function. We've looked at these before, haven't we? And this function will give the first person the ability to interact with the light. So I'm going to create it like this. And what we'll do, we'll come back into the blueprint later on. We might be able to add some more features to it, but just for now, we'll pull out from event begin play. And we need to enable input. Remember that? So let's get enable input. Just so we can allow these blueprints to respond to the commands from our keyboard. We need to get our player controller, this one here. So let's get that and plug it in to player controller. And let's comment around this and call it enable input. Great. So now I'll create an event to start this. And that's going to be the F key in this example. Of course, you can use any key that you want. Just for this example, I'm just going to use F. There we go. So we've got our event, and this is going to change the material and turn the lights on, right? So I'll create an event that's interchanged every time I push the button. So it will go on and off, on and off. And you know that the no for that is the flip-flop control. So we can use that. We've seen it in previous classes, haven't we? There we go. Flip-flop. There's our light switch. And when I click it, the light's going to go on. And when I click it again, the light's going to go off. Nice. So next step. Well, the scene is going to start. I'm going to be able to press F, and it should flip-flop between the light being on and off. But not only the lights, but also the lamp material. So our A event should be turning it on because it's already off. So let's do that now. Let's create an event from A, turning it on first. So we need to search for intensity, set intensity. There we go. And it's associated with our point light because we've got context sensitivity on. So we'll use this node here to adjust our intensity. And what is the intensity? Let's think about this. Well, I'm going to control the intensity in the editor, so we don't have to keep going back into the blueprint. So we can make this variable an editable one, can't we? So I'll create a variable here, promote to variable, and it's a float type. Great. And we'll name this light intensity, and we'll put the eye on so we can edit it in the editor. Okay, so just so it's public, we can change that later on. And let's position it here. And there we go. It's a bit tidier this way, isn't it? Cool. So we've created the intensity. Let's compile it. And for now, the intensity is at 0. We'll change that later on. But now we need to create the event for it to turn off. So let's copy this node. We can press Control W and we'll plug it into B. And we can use the same point light. And this is 0. So we need to change that, don't we? We need to change that, or when we press F, we need to give it another value. So it's on at this stage, and then we're going to turn it off. So let's think what intensity we want it to be. Let's go into our scene. Well, now we need our lamp for this, so we need to put our lamp into our scene. We'll probably put it on this table. Let's get the blueprint. There we go, and drag it onto the scene, onto the table. Nice. So you can see that since the object has a collision, it's placed on the table. Okay, so that was quite easy for us. Let's push play and see if our blueprint's working. So if I approach it and press F, so if I press F, nothing's happening. Of course it's not, because we didn't set up the intensity, right? So let's select our blueprint now that we got it in place in the scene, and go to details, and we can adjust the intensity here. So let's start with 1000. Let's just see. If I press F, there we go. See that? So just so we get an idea of how bright we need it to be in the scene, it's good that we can edit it in the editor. So our lamp is working now, at least. Let's see if we can, let's see what it's like when we reduce the intensity, maybe to 500, because it's a bit too bright at the moment, isn't it? Let's reduce that. And play again. Okay, let's go over to it and press F. Okay. Maybe you need to try 200. Let's try 200. Now, of course, this is just the fine tuning, the fine tweaking, but you know, you're going to need to be doing this. So at least I can show you how that's done. I think that's okay. It's just a matter of adjusting it to what we need. Okay. Okay. Now, the actual bulb itself doesn't have an emissive material. So we can do that now. Just so when we're turning the light on, we'll go for 100 as well, actually. Just so when we're turning the light on, the actual bulb turns on as well. So let's make our material now. Let's go back to the blueprint. And what we're going to do now is something we've already done. Okay. So we've already got the lights turned on. We can adjust the intensity. For now, we need to work out how to change the material. We can use the same flow control. When I push F, it's going to come here and it's going to change the intensity. And then I'll add another flow here to change the material too. So let's pull out from here. And previous classes we touched on this, didn't we? So we can add a set material here, and it's already associated it to the lampshade. So I'll use this one here, set material lampshade, which is the mesh over here. So it's already recognized that. Cool. And now for the material, we need to choose the material from our project. So we've got some set up already here. The materials I've got is mi_porcelain, which will just be like the light being off. And then we have an emissive material, which will be for when the light is on. So all you have to do is just drag it into here. Okay. So that's with the light on because it's in section A. And we can make that public as well. So then we can edit the material later on. So we can pull out from here, add a variable here, or promote to variable, and we'll just name it lamp material. And so just rename this so it's under a category that makes sense, maybe lampshade settings. Let me switch this up for the intensity 2 and make it public. Cool. All right. Nice. So instead of doing it in the blueprint, we can adjust it here. And it's already applied because it's been promoted to a variable, so it's already here. In case I want to choose a different one or reduce the intensity, I can do it on the fly, which is a lot easier rather than going back into here. So now this is going to turn it on. So that's all sorted. Now there is a little bit of extra detail that we can implement, because now we have a static mesh which we've imported. It's a mesh that has different materials. Like here we've got the acrylic base, or I think it's glass actually. And the other materials have several different indexes here, don't we? So we need to find which index we want to change. And then we tell Unreal which material we want to be switching between. Okay, we want it to match. So we need to change the porcelain one, which is element 1, isn't it? Or index 1. So you need to remember that. That's the material for the light bulb. So we have to make sure that that's noted, element 1, and make sure it's put in here. Okay, then it's going to be changing that material. So don't forget that. Okay, and that'll make it a lot easier for you. Cool. And the same principle will apply for any other objects that you're doing. Make sure the element ID or index matches up. We'll do the same here for when we turn the light off as well. And we keep the same element index, but we can change the material. We can plug the target in as well. Index 1, which is what we have, and just change the material to the porcelain one, which will represent the material being off. Let's just get that from here. Just move that up, and we use this and plug that in. So when the lights are off, it'll go back to what it used to be, right? Cool. There we go. So the intensity is already set up. Let's test it and push play. Okay, so if we go over to it and press F, see, there we go. So the light's turned on and the material's working now. Great. It could be looking a bit better though, couldn't it? But it's pretty cool so far, you know. So you can adjust how it looks if you want to with the material. But it's quite a simple blueprint. I'm sure you agree. It didn't take us long to set that up, did it? So let's finish this up with a comment, and we'll call this Lampshade. And oh, actually, yeah, light on, off. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Cool. Compile and save. And there we go. So there's that. So we have also our mesh here. Normally there's a light above the table. If you got this file itself, you'll see that, and you can do that as well. The same blueprint you can apply to a chandelier that goes over the table. We've got one already in the file itself, so we'll make a copy of the BP lampshade. Just select a blueprint and create a copy. So it must be a duplicate, okay, not an instance. And then I'll rename it, and we'll call it a dinner lamp. Or you can call it chandelier, or whatever works for you. Okay, so now we go into here, into the viewport, and we just need to change the mesh to the mesh that we want to use, right? Let's go into our content browser to see the chandelier, and it should be under this folder. The geometry, miscellaneous, and let's get the chandelier. Here we go. So there's a light that's going to be above a dinner table. Let me just put it in the right folder. Just move it there. Cool. Just so it's easier for us to find now that these are the ones we're using for the blueprints. And we can put that in place in our static mesh section here. There we go. So it's changed it there. So there's our lampshade. And let's just think about how we set this one up. Okay, so there are some materials already applied to this, which is great. It's got this gold look to it as well on the metal part. And then these bulbs are the spheres that are attached to it. Okay, and that's index 4, where the light is going to be, or the light material can be applied. Let's go to our event graph. And here you can see that this is how we've connected it before with the lampshade. Now, there's nothing that I need to do other than I just need to change the mesh, okay? So I just need to rename that so it makes sense. It's the same name as the actual static mesh itself, so dinner lamp. And it's already updated here, you see that? And I'm going to be using index 4, remember, for the light material. So here I need to change that to 4. And when we turn the light off, we need to be adjusting the same here, the 4. Cool. Now, point light. So how are we going to work? How are we going to do this? Because the point light obviously is not in the same place. So we need to reposition it so it has the effect of the light turning on, but so it's believable. So it may be here, it might be best to use a rectangular light rather than a point light, because if we use a point light, it's probably not going to do the same effect that the actual chandelier would produce. Okay, so you have the ability to change the type of light that you use just so it makes it a bit more realistic. The other way would be, okay, to put your point lights in position here and copy them across to the position of every bulb if you wanted to. So that's what you could do. In fact, let's just do that now just to demonstrate it. We'll create copies and pull them across to every bulb. And I think they're at different heights as well, so we have to adjust that. Just move them into position. So now we need to make all of these the same and come on at the same time, right? So the problem here is I can't create blueprints for each of them. I have to do them all at the same time. So I just have to add a point light and link it here. You see that? So it is possible to link several things to the same node. That's not a problem. Just make sure you've got enough room and make sure the lines are clean so they're not overlapping, so it's easier to see. Let's drag them all in. There we go. So we're all done now. I've added all of the point lights and I don't have to do it here because it's just a mesh. It's just the index, switching the material. Okay, let's save and add this blueprint to the scene. There it is. Let's drag it in. And then I'll just get it in position above the dining table. Let's just speed this part up. Okay, there we go. So we've added that in position. And here is our light material that we can adjust and the intensity to. So let's change that now, just to see how bright we need it to be. Go into play mode and just test what we've got. And if we press F, it should work. There we go. Nice. So the lights have come on. We might need to reduce the intensity a bit. In fact, we definitely do. And is it turning our lamp on as well? So lampshade is off. Why is that? Well, we're using the same key, aren't we? So just to avoid any confusion, we just need to make sure that we're using keys that are unique to the blueprints. Or if we got, yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Let's just turn it off. Let's push F now. Okay, so F will still turn it on. It's because it's prioritized the blueprint we put in first. And now if we just plug that back in again, just click on it, delete it. We can change the key, use a different one, and yeah, use G. Cool. And save and let's play. Okay, so F and G are the keys we can use now for the different lights. Awesome. So we've done it. And of course, as we said before, you can reduce the intensity of the lights as well. So just so they're not so bright. Let's see it again. Push G and the lights should come on now. There we go. It's all about control now, isn't it? Just a matter of making those final adjustments, little tweaks until you're happy with it. But that's it. So we've done this blueprint, which can be used throughout the scene. It's a very simple one now, and that allows us to turn on and off the lights. And if you want to apply it to other pieces of geometry, remember, just copy the blueprint, make a duplicate of it, and set it up by changing the mesh, and make sure you put your lights in as well in the viewport of the blueprint. As you can see, this is a very useful blueprint for ArcViz, and you'll no doubt be using it a lot. So we'll finish the class here, and we'll see you in the next one.